All right, let's do the October 2nd recap for the global Sumud. All right, so let's talk about what happened and what is still happening. First, I just want to say thank you to the people that were in my live. We ended up doing an 11-hour long, basically like a vigil last night that we ended up jokingly naming the Esperanza Digital Flotilla. So thank you to anyone and everyone that was clipping, streaming, praying, just staying vigilant and keeping eyes on this situation. Your eyes definitely saved lives last night. Let's get into the status. All but one vessel have been captured. Only the Marinette remains unboarded at this time. Mykonos, which is the one that, if you were tracking it, you saw slip into the Palestinian protected waters, but it was captured. The rest of the boats in the Tortilla were captured in international waters and then towed away. And I can't help but to feel like they potentially let that one boat, the Mykonos, go into Palestinian waters because it was daybreak when this happened. So it's hard to imagine that there were not people in the plaza who were watching what was happening. All 443 detainees have been marked safe. They are being held in Ashdod. It is Yom Kippur, so as soon as the holiday is open, the courts and everything else will open back up, and then they will begin processing them, and from what I understand, they're going to deport them through Europe, or some of them directly to their actual home countries. With that status report out of the way, I want to recap because, and I said this at the end of the live, I don't want us to lose the forest for the trees. Tortilla was never really about delivering food. Even the organizers said repeatedly that the real mission was to force the world to look. And I think it's fair to say, since some of the mainstream corporate media did begin to cover it late into the evening, that happened. They wanted to expose the siege on the plaza and demand humanitarian aid access. Their words, this is from the people on the Tortilla, your eyes are our protection. You keeping watch over us saves lives. And another one of the members aboard the Tortilla yesterday, before they were captured, said, even if cereal is to kill us all, more will come and more are on the way. And I have an update about that, so stay with me for a second. One of the passengers aboard the Tortilla sent her mother a text before her particular vessel was intercepted. And she said, even if I die, know that it was 100% worth it. So these people are 100% committed to this cause. Let's not lose the fact that the Mykonos, the boat that made it into Palestinian waters, it was the closest boat that's ever made it to the shore of the plaza. This in and of itself is an accomplishment. So if you were watching last night on my live or any of the other lives, type the secret words eyewitness history in the comment section. Don't forget to like, repost, and follow for updates. And you guys might want to follow me over on YTube because videos seem to just keep missing. Let us deal with the propaganda at hand, all right? Certainly Serial and many American media outlets this morning I read were calling it the Hummus Sumud Flotilla. It was the global Sumud Flotilla. These were, just for clarification, because I know a lot of new people, these were unarmed, civilian, not state-sponsored, okay? Lawyers, doctors, aid workers, carrying humanitarian aid, baby formulas, diapers, medical supplies, etc. They were not enemy combatants. In case anybody's wondering if what the Tortilla did was legal, the answer to that question is yes. Under international law, a naval blockade that amounts to collective punishment, which is what's happening to the people in the plaza, is illegal. Civilian aid ships in international waters are protected. And Serial's actions are an absolute violation of the Geneva Convention. Okay. Now, as of this morning, 45 Turkish civilian ships have set sail towards Gaza. I am unable to ascertain whether they have humanitarian aid on board. It looks like more they're just sailing in solidarity because of what just happened. Then I wanted to read you guys just a couple quick statements from the people on aboard the Global Sumud Flotilla. The Serial occupation enforces a total siege by land, sea, and air, deliberately cutting off the plaza from the outside world. Land routes are either fully blocked or subject to strict control by the IOF and the U.S.-backed Plaza Humanitarian Foundation. Aid is delayed, restricted, or turned into deadly traps. By sea, we bypass these systems and confront the blockade head-on. These boats don't just carry aid, they carry a message. The siege must end. And I wanted to read that to you guys because if you're like me, I know a lot of you are feeling very angry and very defeated about what happened last night. But this moment, it isn't a failure, it's a shift. The Tortilla forced the world's eyes to turn towards the plaza. And though their ships may be seized, the story cannot be confiscated. Of course, organizers are already promising and organizing additional tortillas to start heading towards the plaza. Now look, if you're frustrated right now and you want to do something, you can't donate because they have the donations closed. But what you can do is you can send, and this is for people all around the world, okay? You can go to, I'll put it here on the screen, but I'll say it real quick. It's globalsumudflotilla.org/contact officials. Okay, so if you can remember that, or you can go to askrafaela.com, which is just my Linktree page. It's forwarding to my Linktree page. And at the very top link, it says send emails. And so you go there and you just you select your country, like where you are, and it will populate the entire template for you, and it will give you the email address of the person that you're supposed to send it to. And it's basically just saying like, hey, these people have been intercepted illegally, they're being detained illegally, and this military blockade, the fact that there is not a humanitarian aid open to the plaza needs to end. So if you want to get involved that way, please go send that email. There were no fatalities. This is a bonus. This was not the end that we wanted. But again, I just want everybody to remember that a huge part of this, right, was to turn the attention of the world towards the plaza. And in that way, it was mission accomplished. So thank you to everybody that has been watching, that will continue to keep an eye on this story. I know it's hard to keep an eye on anything right now because it feels like the whole world is on fire. I will see you guys later today.